The book of Numbers, chapter 8. And God was like, yo, Moses, listen up. Yo, Aaron, when you light up those lamps, make sure all 7 lamps shine bright across the candlestick, right? All right. And Aaron did it. He lit the lamps just like the Lord told Moses. The candlestick was made of pure gold and had intricate details like flowers that were also beaten into shape. It was created exactly as the Lord showed Moses, following the divine blueprint. Yo, the Lord totally spoke to Moses, like straight up said, yo, pick some Levites from the crew of Israel and make sure they're very clean. So this is what you got to do to make things right. Splash them with some cleansing water, totally shave off every hair, give their clothes a good scrub, and they'll be squeaky clean. Yeah, that's how it's done. Always grab a fresh young bullock and pair it up with a cool meat offering, like some fine flour mixed with oil. Oh, and don't forget to grab another young bullock for a sin offering. Yo, bring all the Levites to the tabernacle and gather the entire crew of Israelite homies. And like you gotta gather the Levites and bring them before the Lord. You know. And then the children of Israel gotta lay their hands on the Levites, for real. And Aaron is going to flex the Levites in front of the Lord like an offering from the squad of Israel, so they can do their thing for the Lord. You know, wave and all that. They got to execute the service. You know how it is. The Levites going to put their hands on the bullocks' heads. You going to offer one of as a sin offering, and the other one as a burnt offering to the Lord to make things right for the Levites. And you'll put the Levites in front of Aaron and his sons and present them as an offering to the Lord. So basically, you got to pull the Levites aside from all the Israelite kids. Like, they're going to be exclusively mine, you know. Then the Levites will start doing their thing at the tabernacle, and you got to make sure they're all clean and offer them as an offering. Yo, the children of Israel are like fully dedicated to me. I've chosen them to be mine in place of the firstborn of every Israelite. They're all mine, my peeps. All the firstborns of the Israelites belong to me, including humans and animals. On the day when I punished the firstborns in Egypt, I set them apart as sacred for myself. So like I chose the Levites to take care of all the firstborn peeps of Israel. So like I've chosen the Levites to be a special present for Aaron and his sons. They'll be the ones doing all the important work in the tabernacle and making things right for the people of Israel. This way, no bad stuff will happen to the people when they get close to the sanctuary. So like Moses, Aaron, and all the crew of the Israelite peeps, they did exactly what the Lord told Moses to do for the Levites. The whole gang of Israelites followed through on that for them. The Levites were like super clean after they washed their clothes and stuff. Then Aaron offered them up as an offering to the Lord, and he made sure they were all purified and cleansed. It was like a fresh start for them and all, you know. And then the Levites went in to do their job in the tabernacle in front of Aaron and his sons, just as the Lord had told Moses to command the Levites. So the Levites did as they were told. God hit up Moses and was like, here's what the Levites got to do. Once they hit 25, they start serving at the tabernacle. It's like their duty, you know. Can't wait until they're old enough. Then they can do all the important stuff there. It's like waging a war, but inside the tabernacle, you know. Once they hit 50, they're off duty and don't have to serve anymore. No more going into battle. But they got to work together with their squad in the tabernacle, doing their duties, but ain't got to hustle. That's how you got to treat the Levites when it comes to their responsibilities. Numbers chapter 9. So like God totally talked to Moses while they were chilling in the middle of nowhere, Sinai, about a year after they escaped from Egypt. And this is what he said. Make sure the children of Israel don't forget to celebrate the Passover when the time comes. All right. On the 14th day of this month, when it gets dark, you got to celebrate it on time, following all the rituals and ceremonies at even, Hebrew for between 2 evenings. So Moses talked to the Israelites, telling them to totally celebrate the Passover. And they totally celebrated the Passover on the 14th day of the first month, like in the wilderness of Sinai. They did everything exactly how the Lord told Moses to do it. And the children of Israel were totally on point with that. So there were these guys who like touched a dead dude and got all like contaminated and stuff. They couldn't celebrate the Passover that day, so they went and talked to Moses and Aaron about it, like asking for help and guidance on what to do. It was a big deal, man. And those guys were like, dude, we're totally contaminated by touching the dead body. So why are we being held back from bringing our offering to the Lord at the right time with all the other kids in Israel? Moses was like, hold up, fam. I'm going to wait here and see what the Lord's got to say about y'all. So like God was talking to Moses and he was all like, yo, listen up. So God's saying to the peeps of Israel, if any of y'all or your descendants happen to be unclean because of like dead bodies, or if you're out on a super long trip, don't sweat it. You can still celebrate the Passover and show love to the big man upstairs, the Lord. On the 14th day of the second month, when night falls, it's time to get ready for the feast. Gather around and dig some tasty unleavened bread. Dig into some tasty unleavened bread and tangy herbs. They got to finish eating it before the next day and definitely not mess up any of the bones. Gotta follow all the rules of the Passover feast, no exception. But if the dude is clean and chilling at home and he decides not to celebrate the Passover, he's going to be kicked out of his squad. It's because he didn't bring the offering to the Lord when he's supposed to. So he's got to own up to his mistake. And if someone who's not from around here comes to hang with y'all and they want to join in on the Passover celebrations to honor the Lord, they got to follow all the rules and traditions just like everyone else. We're all in this together, no matter where we're from. So like when they finished setting up the tabernacle, this totally cool cloud just completely covered it, specifically the tent where they stored the testimony. And when evening came, it looked like there was this rad fire on top of the tabernacle all the way until morning. And it was always like this. The cloud covered it during the day, and there was a lit fire at night. So like once the cloud was all gone from the tabernacle, the Israelites were like, let's go. They would set out and camp wherever the cloud stopped and stayed for a bit. When the Lord told them to, the peeps of Israel started moving. And when the Lord told them to stop, they set up camp. They chilled in their tents as long as that cloud stayed put on the tabernacle. And like when the cloud hung out over the tabernacle for like a super long time, the children of Israel were like totally on point and didn't go anywhere because that's what the Lord wanted. #no hurry. So like the cloud hung around the tabernacle for a little while. And as the Lord said, they stayed in their tents. And then they moved when the Lord said so. So like when the cloud hung around from evening until morning, and when the cloud lifted in the morning, they started moving. Whether it was during the day or night, when the cloud lifted, they kept on moving. Whether it was chilling for 2 days, a whole month, or even a whole year, whenever that cloud hung out on the tabernacle, the squad of Israelites would stay kicking in their tents, not going anywhere. But as soon as that cloud was lifted, it was time to hit the road, no time to waste. The squad listened up when the Lord gave the word to chill in their tents. And when the Lord said it's time to roll, they moved out. They stayed loyal to the Lord, following Moses as their guide, just as the Lord had commanded. Numbers chapter 10. And God was like, yo, Moses, listen up. You make 2 lit silver trumpets all in one piece. It's for calling the squad together and letting them know it's time to move camps. And when they sound the alarm, everyone should gather at the entrance of the meeting spot. And if they sound with just one trumpet, then the leaders who are in charge of the thousands of Israel will come together with you. When you sound an alarm, the camps on the east side shall move ahead. When you sound the horn again, the camps on the south side will start moving. They will sound the horn to signal their journey. But when the squad's all chilling and it's time to meet up, you can bring the vibes with a little blow, but just don't go all extra and sound the alarm. You feel me? So like Aaron's sons, the priests got to blast these trumpets, okay? It's going to be for everything, for everything. Like for y'all in the fam, you dig? If you find someone in a battle on your own turf against your oppressors, make some noise with those trumpets. God will take notice, and he'll help you kick some enemy. Help you kick your enemies. And when you're having a lit day on those special occasions or at the start of each month, Make sure to blast those trumpets to show your appreciation for the sacrifices you've made. It's like a reminder to God that you're grateful. And just so you know, I am the Lord your God. So like on the 20th day of the second month in the second year, the cloud was like totally gone from the tabernacle of the testimony. So the Israelites started moving from the desert of Sinai, and the cool cloud settled in the desert of Paran. So they set off, totally following what the Lord told them through Moses. First up, the camp of the kids from Judah was led by Nahshon, Amminadab's offspring. They had their own cool flag and everything. And leading the crew from the tribe of Issachar was Nathaniel, who happened to be Zur's son. And in charge of the crew from Zebulun's squad was Eliab, Helon's son. So the tent was packed up, and the Gershon and Merari families rolled out, carrying the tent with them. Then Reuben's squad started moving, organized according to their groups, with Eleazar, Shooter's son, leading over them. And in charge of the tribe of Simeon, the gang was Shelumiel, son of Zurshaddai. And in charge of the squad from the tribe of Gad was Elisab, son of Duel. So the Kohathites moved ahead, carrying the holy stuff, while the others set up the tabernacle before they arrived, those other being the Gershonites and the Merarites. The crew of Ephraim's squad moved out, organized by their squads, with Elishama, the son of Medad, leading them. Gamaliel, son of Peduzar, was in charge of the tribe of the children of Manasseh. Leading the crew of Benjamin's squad was Abidan, Gideoniah's offspring. So the Dan squad in the rear guard of all the camps moved out with their crew. Ahaziah, Mishaddai's son, was in charge of their squad. And leading the tribe of Asher's crew was Pagiel, Ochran's son. And leading the crew of the tribe of Naphtali peeps was Ahiri, Enan's son. So like this is how the Israelites moved around with their crew, when they were on the move. Like they had their squads and all, and that's how they rolled out. And I mean, when I say these, it's like the Hebrew word for them, just so you're in the loop. So Moses was like, yo, Hobab, bro, you're Raguel's kid, right? Well, listen up. Our crew is headed to this rad spot that the Lord promised to give us. You should totally roll with us, man. We've got your back, and things are going to be super awesome for Israel because the Lord's got good things in store. And he was like, no way. I'm totally going to dip and go back to my own turf and chill with my fam. And he was like, dude, please don't peace out on us. You're our wilderness expert, and you can be our eyes out here, If you come with us, we'll treat you just as well as the Lord treats us. So they left the Lord's mountain and traveled for 3 whole days, and the sacred ark representing God's agreement led the way on this journey, searching for a perfect spot they could finally rest. And the Lord's cool vibes followed them during the day, whenever they dipped out of the camp. When the ark was on the move, Moses said, yo, Lord, get up and make your enemies peace out and let those who hate you bounce. And once it stopped, he said, come back, Lord, to the massive crowd of Israel with countless thousands. Numbers chapter 11. So like when the people started whining, it really ticked off the Lord, and the Lord totally listened to their complaints, which made him super mad. And then the Lord's anger got so intense. It was like a raging fire that scorched the outskirts of the camp and totally consumed those who were causing all the fuss. By the way, when I say complain, I mean they were kind of acting like complainers, And when I say it displeased, I mean it was totally annoying to the Lord. So the people were like, Moses, help us. And Moses was all like, yo, God, can you do something about this fire? And boom, just like that, the fire was put out. And he was like, okay, let's name this place Tabira, because, the fire of the Lord was straight up burning in there. Tabira, which literally means fire, burning, and stuff. And the diverse group of people who were with him began to crave and desire things they shouldn't. And the children of Israel started crying again, saying, who can provide us with meat to eat? They couldn't help their cravings and started shedding tears again. Yo, we still think about those lit fish we used to grub on back in Egypt. Like it was no biggie. And don't even get me started on the vibes of them cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, and garlic. They were straight fire. But like our soul is totally drained, there's legit nothing else here except this manna right in front of us. The manna looked like tiny coriander seeds and had a color similar to that of bdellium. So the people went around and collected it, ground it up in the mills, or crushed it in a mortar, and baked it in pans and made yummy cakes out of it. And let me tell you, it tastes just as good as fresh oil. Fresh oil tastes good. And like when it got all misty at night in the camp, this super cool thing called manna fell from the sky and landed on it, So Moses heard the peeps crying all over their fams with every dude posting up by their tents. And man, the Lord got super angry, which totally didn't sit well with Moses either. So like Moses straight up asked God, why are you making things so hard for me? Did I do something to annoy you or what? Because it feels like you're dumping all these responsibilities on me without showing me any love or support. Did I give birth to all these people? Am I their creator just so you can ask me to hold them close like a caring father holding a helpless baby and lead them to the promised land that you promised their ancestors? Where am I supposed to get enough food to feed all these people? They keep crying to me, demanding meat to eat. I can't handle all these people by myself. It's way too overwhelming for me. And like, if you're going to keep treating me like this, just end me right now, please. But hey, only if I've done something to earn your approval. I'd rather not witness how miserable my life has become. So like the Lord was talking to Moses and he was like, yo, Moses, round up 70 dudes who are like the OGs of Israel. And they're basically in charge, and bring them to the tent where we all meet up so they can stand with you. And I'll slide into the DMs and have a convo with you there. I'll download the vibe that you've got and I'll spread it to them too. And they'll share the load of dealing with the people. So you don't have to carry it all by yourself. Yo, tell the people to get themselves ready for tomorrow because we're about to feast on some delicious meat. Y'all been crying to the Lord, talking about who's going to hook us up with some meat to eat like we had it back in Egypt or something. Well, guess what? The Lord heard ya, and he's going to come through with that meat. So get hyped because we're about to chow down. Guys, don't even think about indulging in some good eats for just 1 day or 2 days or 5 days, not even 10 days or 20 days. Like seriously, for like a whole month until like it's coming out your nose and totally grossing you out because you straight up dissed the Lord who's right there with you and like cried to him saying, why did we even leave Egypt, bro? So Moses was like, yo, there's like 600,000 people here. And you're saying you gonna give them meat to eat for a whole month? That's wild. Like, are they seriously expecting us to slaughter a bunch of animals just to feed them? Or are they thinking we can magically gather all the fish in the sea to satisfy their cravings? And God was like, Moses, seriously? Do you think I suddenly lost my power? Watch and see if what I've said will actually happen or not. So Moses dipped out and dropped some knowledge on the people, sharing the words of the Lord. He gathered the 70 OGs of the community and had them chill around the tabernacle. And like God came down in a totally epic cloud and had a chat with them. Then God was like, yo, dudes, check this out. And he took some of the mad, awesome spirit that was on him and straight up handed it over to the 70 elders. You won't believe it. But when that spirit landed on them, they started prophesying like nonstop for real. So there were these 2 dudes back in the camp, one named Eldad and the other named Medad. But get this, the Spirit of God came upon them, even though they didn't go out to the sacred tent like the others. And guess what? They started prophesying right there in the camp. Then this dude came running up to Moses and was like, yo, Eldad and Medad are out here prophesying in the camp. So Joshua, Moses' homie and servant, one of his squad, was like, yo, Moses, chill out and don't let them do that. Moses was like, are you jelly of me, bro? I wish everyone was a prophet and had the Lord's Spirit on them. How epic that would be. So Moses went with the squad, him and the OGs of Israel. So like the Lord sent a really strong wind that brought a bunch of quails from the sea and let them fall around the camp. It was like a day's journey on one side and then a day's journey on the other side, surrounding the whole camp. And the quails were like 2 cubits high above the ground, just covering everything. It was like a huge feast for them. So like the people were standing up all day and all night, and even the next day gathering these quails. The one who collected least ended up with like 10 homers, man. And they spread them all around the camp, making sure everyone got their share. And they were just still chewing on the meat before they even finished it. God got super angry at the people and hit them with a really bad sickness. And he named that place Kibroth Hatahava, because that's where they buried all those pleasure seekers. Kibroth Hatahava, which means the graves of desire. And the squad moved from Kibroth Hatahava to Hazeroth and crashed at Hazeroth. Crashed like they set up camp, you know. Numbers chapter 12. So Miriam and Aaron had a problem with Moses because he married an Ethiopian woman. Now, what happened to your first wife, Moses? I guess I'd be right there with him. Now, you never did say too much about your first wife. Jethro tried to bring her. You had a conversation with him, didn't talk. You never talk about your kids. You never talk about your wife. Now, you married an Ethiopian woman. I'd be right there with Miriam and Aaron. They had a problem with Moses because he married an Ethiopian woman. Yeah, he went and tied a knot with someone from Ethiopia. By the way, Ethiopia means Cushite, just FYI. And they were like, wait, did God only speak through Moses? Like, didn't he also speak through us? And then God was like, yep, I totally heard that. OMG. Moses was like very humble, even more than anyone else on the planet. Of course, he's writing this. He's talking about himself. So like out of nowhere, the Lord was like, hey, Moses, Aaron, Miriam, come meet me at the tabernacle, stat. And guess what? Yep, the three of them actually went there, no questions asked. Then God came down from the sky in a super cool cloud and stood at the entrance of the holy tent. He called out to Aaron and Miriam, and they both went to him. Yo, listen up. If there's a prophetic homie among you, I, the Lord, will straight up reveal myself to them in a vision or chat them up in a dream. Moses, my servant, is totally real, like super reliable and taking care of all my stuff. I'm going to have a direct convo with him, no shady talk, and he's going to see a clear vision of the Lord. So why aren't you scared to diss my boy Moses? God got really mad at them. He stormed off. So he stormed off. And the cloud left the tent. And guess what? Miriam suddenly got this skin condition, like really pale, like snow. And Aaron saw Miriam and whoa, she had the same skin condition too. Yo, Moses, my dude, please don't blame us for this dumb mistake we made and the sin we committed. It's a totally facepalm moment, bro. Yeah, but you messed up, Moses. Don't even try that one. They're going to bring God into it. You messed up. Don't let her be like a total zombie. A zombie? What in the world? All flesh, half eaten up when she's born. And Moses hit up the big man upstairs like, yo, Lord, I'm begging you. Can you please fix her up? And God was like, yo, Moses, if her dad just dissed her, wouldn't she be mad, embarrassed for a whole week? Kick her out of the squad for a week, and then she can come back and chill with us. So Miriam got excluded from the gang for a whole week, and the squad didn't even move forward without her being let back in. Then the crew bounced from Hazeroth and set up in the wild lands of Paran. Numbers chapter 13. So God was like, yo, Moses, listen up. Yo, pick some peeps to scope out Canaan, the land I'm hooking up to the children of Israel. Send a representative from each tribe, you know, a legit leader. So Moses, following God's order, sent them out from the wilderness of Paran. All those guys were leaders of the Israelite squad. And these were their names. From the tribe of Reuben, Shemua, who was the son of Zakur. Representing the tribe of Simeon, we have Shaphat, Hori's offspring. Representing Judah, we got Caleb, son of Jephunneh. Igel, the dude who's Joseph's son, represents the tribe of Issachar. Representing the Ephraim fam, we got Oshi, a.k.a. Joshua, son of Nun. Representing Benjamin, we got Palti, the offspring of Raphu. Representing Zebulun, we got Gadiel, Sodi's offspring in the mix. Representing Team Joseph, specifically from the squad of Manasseh, we have Gadai, Susi's child. Amiel, the son of Gamali, representing the Dan tribe. Representing the Asher squad, we got Sether, holding it down as Michael's son. Representing the Naphtali squad, we've got Nabi, Vashi's offspring. Representing the tribe of Gad, we got Guel, son of Maki. These are the guys that Moses sent to scope out the land, and Moses gave Oshi, aka Joshua, the nickname Jehoshua. So Moses sent them to check out the land of Canaan and told them, go up this road in the south and head towards the mountains. Check out the land and peep the scene, see who's living there. Are they flexing or kind of weak? A small squad or a massive screw? So like they were checking out the land where those people live, you know. They wanted to know if it was a good place or a total dump. And they also wanted to scope out the cities they were living in, whether they were chilling in tents or hiding out in fortresses. You feel me? Yo, check out what the land is like. Is it rich or nah? Any dope trees around? Don't be scared, fam. Confidence is the key. Bring back some tasty fruits from the land. It's grape season, y'all. So they went up and explored the land from the desert of Zin all the way to Rehob, like people reaching Hamath. So they headed south and reached Hebron, where Ahamim, Shishai, and Talmai, who were the children of Anak, were chilling. By the way, Hebron was actually built 7 years before Zoan in Egypt. So they went to this really cool place called Eshkol and found this huge bunch of grapes. They decided to carry it on a stick together with their friends. Also, they picked some pomegranates and figs. They got the name Ishkal because it had a mad bunch of grapes that the Israelite crew snatched up. Brook or valley, Eshkol, as in a cluster of grapes. And after like 40 days of checking out the land, they came back, you know. So they went up and met with Moses, Aaron, and all the Israelites out in the wilderness of Paran at Kadesh. They reported to them and showed everyone the awesome fruit they had found. So they were like, hey, we went up to that place you sent us to, and dude, it's amazing. It's full of good stuff like milk and honey. And check out these fruits we brought back. But yo, the peeps living in that land be mad strong. In the cities be like protected with large big walls and all. Plus we spotted these straight up giants, the children of Anak there. Bruh, the Amalekites are chilling down in the southern lands, while the Hittites, Jebusites, and Amorites are posted up in the mountains. The Canaanites are holding it down by the sea and the coast of Jordan. You feel me? So Caleb gathered everyone around Moses and said, yo, let's charge straight up and claim that land as ours. We got this, fam. We totally have what it takes to conquer it. But the dudes who rolled with him were like, nah, bro, we can't take on these people because they're way more buff than us. So they totally trashed the land they explored to the Israelites, saying, dude, this place totally eats people alive. And the people we saw there, taller than giants, man. So like we saw these super tall dudes, the sons of Anak, who were like descendants of even taller dudes. And you know what? We felt so tiny like grasshoppers compared to them. And it seemed like that's how they saw us too. Numbers chapter 14. And like everyone in the group started shouting and crying, and the peeps were super emotional that night. And all the Israelite kids were like, ugh, Moses and Aaron are so annoying. The whole crew was like, I wish we were dead in Egypt. No, wait, I wish we were dead in this boring wilderness. Why did God bring us to this place just to get killed and let our families be taken captive? Wouldn't it be better for us to go back to Egypt? And they were like, yo, let's choose a leader and bounce back to Egypt. So Moses and Aaron totally dropped to the ground in front of everyone, like the whole crew of Israelite peeps. Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, who were part of the land scouting crew, tore their clothes in distress. So they said to all the squad of Israel, like, yo, the land we checked out is legit amazing, no cap. If God thinks we're cool, he'll totally hook us up with this awesome land that's like super abundant with milk and honey, all flowing and stuff. Don't go against the Lord. Don't be scared of the people in the land. They're basically no match for us. They have no protection. But we have the Lord on our side, so don't be afraid of them. But everyone there was like, let's pelt them with stones. Then out of nowhere, God's amazing presence showed up in the meeting place where everyone can see right in front of the whole Israelite crew. Yo, Moses, seriously, how much longer are these people going to keep testing my patience? Like, when will they finally have some faith in me, especially after all the crazy miracles I've shown them? I'm going to hit them with a major plague, kick them out of their land, and turn you into a way cooler nation. That's way more powerful than them. So Moses was like, yo, God, if we do this, the Egyptians going to hear about it, and they going to be shook because you straight flexed your power and brought the Israelites out from among them and all. And they'll be like, yo, the people of this place need to know that the Lord is with them. They've heard that the Lord is chilling right here like no distance. The Lord's cloud is always over them, leading the way during the day as a cloud and at night as fire. Yo, if you straight up wipe out these peeps like they're all just one person, then all these nations who heard about you going to be like, so God couldn't actually get these people into the land he promised them. That's why he ended up, taking them out in the wilderness and stuff. Yo, I'm humbly asking you to flex your mad power just like you promised. God is super patient, totally merciful, forgives all bad stuff we do, but makes sure justice is served. Sometimes the consequences of our ancestors' wrongdoing can affect us too for a few generations. Like, oh my gosh, please forgive the wrongdoings of these people in the most epic way possible, just as you've forgiven them since the time they left Egypt until now, or like until now or whatever. And God was like, you know what? I'm totally forgiving you just like you asked. I swear, bro, the entire world will be lit with the glory of the Lord. Trying not to sneeze. So like all these dudes who witnessed the epicness of my divine awesomeness and witness the sick miracles I pulled off back in Egypt and the wild, and they straight up tested me 10 times now and totally ignore what I've been saying. I tell you, they won't even catch a glimpse of the promised land I promised their ancestors. Those who've been giving me trouble won't see it either. Hashtag no land for them. Hashtag promised, but not delivered. That's a sermon. Promised, but not delivered. But my dude Caleb, because he had this whole different vibe going on and straight up followed me to the max, I'm going to bring him into the land. He checked out and his offspring will totally own it. So like there were these Amalekites and Canaanites chilling in the valley, Tomorrow head out into the wilderness via the Red Sea route found. So like the Lord was talking to Moses and Aaron, right? And he's all like, yo, how much longer do I have to put up with this whack group of people who keep complaining about me? I've been hearing their constant complaints like, seriously, why are the children of Israel always dissing me? Yo, listen up. This is what the Lord is saying. I swear on my life, whatever you've been chatting about, I'm going to make it happen. No cap. Y'all going to drop dead in this desert. All of you from 20 and up who complained about me will be taken out and totally counted, every single one of you. For sure, you guys won't enter the land I promised to give you as a place to live, except for Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. Just so you know, I made a solemn commitment to this. But those younger ones you thought would be left behind as victims, I'll bring them in, and they will experience the land that you underestimated. But like you guys, your bodies are totally going to drop dead in this desert. And your kids will be stuck in the desert for like 40 years, dealing with the consequences of your messed up choices until you all basically die out here. Shrugs. Once you finish exploring the land, which took a total of 40 days, that's like a year for each day, you'll have to deal with the consequences of your wrongdoings for the next 40 years. And during that time, you'll come to realize how I had to change my plans because of your actions. Yo, the Lord himself promised that he's going to totally wreck this entire messed up group of people that have gathered against me. Like in this wilderness, they're going to meet their end and kick the bucket right here. So like those guys that Moses sent out to check the land totally came back and started stirring up drama among all the people by spreading lies about it. Like those guys who spread negativity about the land totally didn't make it. They got hit with a major plague in front of the Lord. But Joshua, the OG son of Nun, and Caleb, the cool son of Jephunneh, were part of the squad that checked out the land, and they were still killing it. So Moses pulled the squad together and dropped these truth bombs on all the Israelites. And let me tell you, the whole crew was in serious feels mode, like major morning vibes. So like they woke up early in the morning and headed to the tippy top of the mountain, being like, yo, we're here and we're totally going to reach the place that the Lord promised us because we messed up, man. Yo, Moses was like, why y'all got to go against the Lord's commandment? But let me tell you, it ain't going to work for you. Don't even think about heading up there because the Lord ain't going to be there with you. You'll end up getting totally wrecked by your enemies. Yo, listen up. The Amalekites and Canaanites are chilling in that place ahead of ya, and y'all going to get wrecked by the sword. It's because you've straight up abandoned the Lord, so he ain't going to roll with you no more. But they decided to go to the top of the hilltop, even though the sacred box of the Lord's covenant and Moses stayed in the camp. So the Amalekites and the Canaanites who lived in that area came down and totally destroyed them all the way to Hormah. Please put these words in the comment section. This is the word of the Lord. Follow, like, and subscribe. Hit that arrow at the bottom of the screen and share this video. Shall we pray? Well, Lord, we have learned not to walk in a lack of faith and disbelief and unbelief. So we pray that you would help our unbelief today. Anything that we have in us that's anxious or doubtful or backs away from your promises, remove it away from us so that we can be full of faith and confidence and trust and hope in you. Help us to believe you, to trust you, even though we may not see the whole plan. You know the whole plan. So help us to trust you in the midst of it all. We ask in Jesus' name. And all people of God said, thank God, amen. And put in the comment section, this is the word of the Lord.